Let us speak the words as you will. Let it fall on good soil. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, have I prayed with thanksgiving. Amen. Amen. Today I want us to talk about the power of proximity. The power of proximity. The power of proximity. And then also the subtext is what you stay close to shapes you. Whatever you stay close to is what is going to shape you. And that is what I want us to discuss, to understand why proximity is so powerful, why closeness is so powerful, why proximity is so powerful. Unse se wo connecti bibi kra to Wi-Fi na bibia, the closer you are to the source or to the router, it becomes more powerful, the connection between the Wi-Fi and your device. So Pia Bontin is here, even though we ben fie, because when you're close to Wi-Fi, the connection of the internet gets distracted. It's able to connect phone and they na make also a PM say internet no akati. Into PA in hakrana, because you are not close to the router, there's interference in the connection. What I say? Sa so na who use Bluetooth. Sa pepe. Oh, connect to even electricity pole krana. The closer you are to the source and also proximity to the transformer and also, the easier it is, because post maybe crisis who are one because I bet me at but uko a trade now, it is very, very, very difficult. It is very, very, very difficult. Until the closer you are to something, the easier it is to connect. So if you move away from something, the connection gets interrupted. Now we would yebe kasa in two ways, and to understand the things we are supposed to be close to and the things we are not supposed to be close to, because proximity no either saw the far left and also the far right ni na no benya good connection no. Inti say me close to nyoma papa menya nyoma papa. What you say? Me you close to nyoma boni a menya nyoma boni. Simple calculation. Any mass. It's quite simple. So proximity actually determines the level of influence you will have. Influence. So open influencer, how close you are to the source or where you want your influence from is going to determine how amazing or great that influence would be. It is a influence, a little bit of influence in mama life or influence in certain things I'm doing now. If I'm closer to mama, I am able to get some level of influence. What I say? If I am closer to the source, I am able to get some level of influence. If we take it to the Bible, we can see that Peter had influence because he was close to Jesus. You understand? There was some relationship that he had that was close. So proximity determines that level of influence that you acquire. So even if you bring it to normal life, what you are saying? If you are close to some chairman, or if you become close to some chairman, you are able to get some level of influence. If I am close to despite, right? So me pekwan despite closer, you will be able to have a little bit of influence. What I say? And you know, when you are close to somebody, there's influence that you get from there. When you are distant from somebody, you start to break that level of influence. It will check your life, grab it, me will say, Obi a only close, and also senior man be an answer, chairman be an answer. Oh no, my cry, no, my cry. So what check you period be as only be close, kakra more, na say, Ubiti na send be near the adibino, as we nyan you maybe. Oh. After that, so it's me free kakra to me nyoma bin kakra. We are aware so person my child there also who was style, who was skills be aware me boy. Me aware so was skills. We say na say me say skills be abem. It is a level of closeness, you know. You are able to get certain gifts from it, and one of the gifts is influence. Proximity also produces transformation. If you want to transform your life, when you are close or build a relationship to, I'll call them transformers, right? The transformers can be prophets, it can be rich men, it can be destiny helpers, it can be all of that. On top of all of that is God, right? But when you are close to a transformer, you can tap into its power. When you are far away from a transformer, it takes a lot of work and a lot of pulls. Lights no crown one shot a bedroom hona ano nye tinsa. So the closer you are to a transformer, and I'm using electricity and also using the word transformer to stand for people in our life that are there to orchestrate some level of change, right? So when you are close to a transformer, the power that you receive is greater. But when you are far away from a transformer, you might not even receive the power. 1, 2, it is going to be very, very, very stressful for the power to move from the transformer to your distance because you are too far away. Either it is too costly, or the work involved is too much, you have to go through so many levels to get there, and then you are not able to receive the power, or you receive a very weak power or connection. The same way when you are close to the network router as I'm talking about, the Wi-Fi is stronger. When you move, there is this connection, or the connection is not as good as it is. Even with our phones and stuff like that, the people closer to the substations of MTN and stuff like that have better internet. Better that me come out to the side, yeah, the internet, the network, the papa. So the closer you are to a transformer, the higher the power is that you receive. My question is, the moment you are able to realize where that source is, or who is your transformer, right? So let me ask that question. Who is your transformer? The moment you realize who your transformer is, you have to do everything in your power to be close to that transformer. You have to do everything in your power to have close proximity to that transformer. And for you to be able to that, you have to know who your transformer is. You understand? Who is that transformer or that generator that you are tapping the power from? Who is it? Who? If it is God, and I trust that it is God for all of us. If it is God, the next question is, how are you moving with God? How are you creating a close proximity with God to be able to get that power that you are looking for? If you look at Moses' life, you could realize that Moses not in near brew. Then the near brepa. Moses how and now the near brew so bet tap into Nyame power and how he wanted to be very close to God. Because at a point where God was saying, say, the spirit bending the angels near the crown, Moses said, debut. Oh here, senior man, kasa. It is when you are in close proximity that other things get added on. The byproduct of the proximity is all these other things that we are so excited about. You get me? The cars, the luxury, this, that, all of the money. It's a byproduct too. That is not the main source, right? But the proximity is what is going to give you those byproducts. So if you look at Moses, nyame so be ma bibia, the bibia be ma ni ade, so baby amu kono kra and the spirit be di mo echi ni ade. But Moses said, no, I want to know you. You know my name, yes. But me, I want to know you. I want to know you. Let's read Exodus 33. But he said, you cannot, let me continue. But he said, you cannot see my face, for no one may see me and live. Then the Lord said, there is a place near me where you may stand on a rock. But there is a place near me where you may stand on the rock. That is the part I'm very interested in. But let me just continue. Where my glory passes, I'll put you in a cleft in a rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I'll remove my hand and you'll see my back, but my face must not be seen. So this is the part where Moses is going back and forth, just to give a little bit of context. And Moses is telling God, you've been telling me I should lead these people, but you have not allowed me to know you. You get me? And the Lord is telling him that, oh, my presence will follow you. Moses said, "Your presence, but me here kasa." You get me? Then the Lord said, there is a place near me where you may stand on a rock. That place near him is where we need to yearn for. The place near him is where we need to yearn for. But that only comes as a byproduct of being near to a transformer. At this point, God is our highest transformer, right? God is our highest transformer. And I say, the closer you are to your transformer, the higher the power is, right? So bet me tap your power in a very powerful way. Now, say the bad normal life. In your life, who would you think would be your transformer? Could you give me an example of people? Basically, you're more social. That's what he's saying. Basically, those that have more insights, more knowledge, more sense, more money, better marriages, more spiritual stability. Do you understand? These are the ones that I like to call my chairman, right? So if these guys are higher than us, right? These guys have some power or some influence or some authority in a space that we have not gone yet, right? That is why we call them our chairman or champion or whatever, right? You pick a person that has been there or is from there or has experience there. Then what you do, what you have to do, is to now create a relationship and be closely or near or have a close proximity to that person. Because it is only when you have close proximity to that person, and also only a close relationship, and also only a very tight encounter, and an be release the amount. Inti yabana spiritually, baby, mama me call. Maybe I'm a rerun. I mean, I have not gone there. I mean, I haven't gotten there. I haven't seen. So, if I want to build myself spiritually, it only makes sense that I will use the power of proximity that I'm talking about to now align myself with Mama, because of you know, it's guidelines near the adini in your mind. What's so familiar the adina? Mama ne bet me impact on my life. The same way, if I'm doing any business, it only makes sense for me to align myself with somebody that has been there, done that has made so much, and build some level of relationship to be able to extract the goodness from that person. What I'm trying to say here is that without proximity, without you being close, without you being near to that transformer, without being close to that, you will not receive an adequate power from that person. The closer you are to that source, the more power you receive. Madam, we say, "Oh no, the life, oh no, the minimum favor, oh no, so no, share senior man be somehow, or to be close. He has never bought a car in his life. Every car that he drives is given to him. Businesses that he's doing is given to him. The money he needs to, all because he has kept in close proximity to transformers. So as a hack in life, if you start to develop that kind of habits of building that close proximity to heavy transformers in our life, we will start to prevail. Now, if you change it the other way and start building proximity, closeness to people that are there to destroy your life. People that are there to take you away from where God has sent you to go. And those people could be anybody, in my experience. People that sway your mind from the things that will get you to your destiny land. Also, when you are in close proximity, you tap into their distraction and they start affecting you. So the power and the energies are, I'll use the word contagious. The energy transfer is contagious. So the moment I am with anybody that has a very bad energy that is going to suppress my destiny, ebe transfer me say menene didio. The fact that menene close, in close proximity, there's a transference of energy from him or her to me. So proximity is very powerful. So wherever you place yourself, you need to do something I call a proximity audit. Who are you close to? Who are you talking to every day? Who are your friends? Who are the people that have access to your home? Which people do you eat with? Which people do you hang out with? Are there people that have energies that are worth you getting in contact with? Are there people that when they infect you, you are okay with the result? Are there people that when you move with them, you are able to see positive things in your life? Because we have already understood that nearness and our closeness causes our transference of power. So if that is the case, which people are you close to? Why not anything common every day? Why not any taxi every day? Why not friend every day? Why not any didibom? Why not any nam? Is that person wielding the power from the Almighty? Is that person giving you a positive impact in your life? Because if the person is not, then there's a problem. Most of the time, those people are rather drain us of the small energy that power kakrana tapi transform than power na be jina kakrana. Most of the time, those people actually take out from that power and leave us empty. Proximity is a very, 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 very powerful thing. And until we yearn to be close to the one whom we worship, certain things will not be revealed to us. Your level of proximity also allows God to reveal certain things to you. How close you are to God, or how much you have built yourself to be near to God, gives God the level of trust in you to release certain information to you. Because let's bring it back to normal human life. Until you are close to me to an extent, there are certain secrets I'm not going to tell you. Until you have worked with me over a period of some years, who say, no, Eriemo, Insiomo, Migoskal, Miniskal, how I act, how I react, who buy me fear then now, yeah, all of those things. Until you and I build that level of closeness or come to that level of proximity, there are certain things about my life that I will never reveal to you. In the same way, Nyame sosono, se woni na build this close relationship now, and through level be an pempen, so be there is a limit to the things that is released upon you. Be it direct to you in your dreams or through your prophet or wherever. There's a limit because how close you are with him is you're not that close. So there's a little bit of disconnection. Internal use Wi-Fi router and connection the kakao over Wednesday, Thursday or something over closer to the router, right? So the connection is good for that period. But my question is, for the rest of the week or for the rest of the years, are you working with the router everywhere? Or the router is left at Lakeside? So basically, you are working and there's no network and connecting you. And until you connect fully and constantly and every day, daily, with that power, there are certain secrets you will not know. Even the way God speaks to you, it's not going to be regular. The last time, I think, say a call pack, when was it, Thursday or Wednesday or something, Mama was talking about the fact that sorry, no, any pemuna or the message, nyame na ehye no. Nti se obana se unya message, I thank God, you get me. na ya ono ana etodo de ne nsa tutu obia so but nyame na hye no say oni Kofi nkokasa. Do you know what it takes for God to be worried and then mention your name, Kofi, that my servant, go and deliver Kofi? And I say, Kofi say, and ebeba. You see, you have to stay in that constant vicinity or proximity with God for to constantly be worrying senior man to the extent say they be over pakanya make a sound. Hey, my God. That proximity is needed. Because it is only with that proximity that ebenya abebe scenario. Say abebe scenario yehwehwe. And no cry that a byproduct. But if I want to hear from God, I need to constantly stay aligned. That is why I always talk to my prophets. Because I need that proximity. Because me free as here, there will be a disconnect. And a disconnect no ba meaning the eba no so. Meaning the eba because there are certain people that even come into our life that look like they are transformers, but they are not. They are disguised as transformers, but they are not. And if we make a mistake and remove our power cable from that connection with God, how are we going to know that these transformers are not even correct? There are so many people in our life that are posing to be positive people, but Kofi, they are just draining your energy. That little energy that your mother has given you, that you know. When you go, I know there are some people that are draining, but you think that they are. They will start draining it. So now to even identify who is the right transformer or who is the right person or people or chairman or chairwoman to even tap and be close to, you need the first highest transformer, who is God. And you need to stay in proximity and our closeness to even know, say, oh no, Bryce can transform and be also close. Now me tapping. Nyamena na be kire say uni ni nkoye close. Uni ni closer or like bia e be transfer about so. Nyamena be catch say okay papa ni sisi anu feel so niska but with the adwini bia hye na adwini mu a oben na obema knowledge bia obetimi dey your business. But we will judge with physical appearance. Again, and I always say, a lot of people have judged mommy. A lot of people have judged mommy on a lot of things. If you do not allow the highest to guide you in certain things, you make a mistake and now be close to the wrong transformers. The power of proximity. How close you are shapes your life. Who you are close to shapes your life. So Kofi, who are we close to? Who are we close to? Why more on a daily? It is very, very important. And this I'm telling you, it is like a universal thing. When you say whoever, whether you are sitting here, whether you are not sitting here, it's like a universal thing here. So there's no way your life is going up. So how close you are allows people to now release certain things to you. There's no way that Kofi, if you put yourself in a council of rich men, businessmen, that you are ever going to be poor. It will wrap off you. In common oh, Moko din common bonnie bia and common and a how come din common crana a bit push you some way. And in church and prayer and community and stuff like that is good. Because ebia me find says last crana me crana missing my brain I mean per se can come in back. But the fact that I am seeing Mama, I am seeing Bryce is so it gives me the vim to also push on. Right? So community of certain things are able to, when you are close to certain communities, it's able to give you that energy that you need to move. But when you sit in a council of certain people, it is only going to deteriorate. So who are you close to? Which communities are you close to? Which places are you close to? Which spirit are you close to? We have to be careful about which people we are close to, which people that we stay in proximity, which people that we talk to every day. It could be anybody. Sometimes it could be your boyfriend. And in fact, sometimes, most of the time, it is our boyfriends and girlfriends. Some people, it is their uncles and aunties. Some people, it's so many things that try to take our energy from us. But today, I'm just here to remind us that the closer you are to God, the more you see. The closer you are to God, the more you hear. The closer you are to God, the more you learn his ways. You need proximity, or you need the closeness to be able to understand and know the things that God has for you. Because ni umbemi and komobiwa minundi. Umbemi a mintimin trustil with inyoma bi. So umbemi a mintimin smile and pingin smabi. Umbemi a mintimin faskebi in shawonsa. Umbemi a mintimin trustil with a certain responsibility. Umbemi a mintimin family juma and shawonsa. Iti ade na ye twa ye ho ntro say ye som nyame, but I say we are not yearning to be close to God. I don't know if you understand what I mean. It's like, yeah, we come, we do what we're supposed to do, but we are not yearning to be close, to be in close proximity to the source. Proximity is not as close as it should be. The power gets diluted. So when the transformer and whoever is receiving is far away, the power that you receive is not as sharp as the person that is close to the transformer. So as we are worried, we get too worried about the byproduct of things. Like we are so worried about money, we are worried about houses, we are worried about luxury cars, private jets, we are worried about all those things, so much so that we forget that the main source is God. And the main thing we have to do is to be in close proximity. So the other things that we think we are looking for now takes away from that proximity, because so then we leave the actions and what we are supposed to do to be in close proximity to God, to now look for the byproduct if we are close to God. And the devil has a very nice way of convincing you that that is the smartest thing to do. Right? So, it's a buffet could be. I'm a forecast to me for a busy. Your message to my business name, Koyo, and I says, do you say, wow, but that's on far because we want him the way busy. You are looking for absolute money. Forgetting that even that business that you are doing is something that God has given to you. As we understood the last time, the talent that you own has been given by God. Now, if you are not close to the source of that talent, how do you receive instructions from that talent? How do you receive instructions on how to use that talent? If I'm continuing from the last time, how do you receive where to pass and where not to pass? How do you receive the knowledge of that? The owner of your talent is God. How do you receive that information? If you cut the network, yes, send no text message now, Ember, and I check one. Ember. If you are not in close proximity, the message, you will not receive it. When God is trying to tell you that, hey, cool down, this one is not the one that I sent. Because $1 million, they benye hana me pese efa. Now, so what kati communication na? Better when you text message, then can you $1 million, Anna? I'm saying this because me be up to me that. So I was praying about it, but inside me, but because of my proximity, there was something knocking me that, wait, hold on, pray about it, ask God first. So all what I told him in that office is that, Chairman, I have to ask God first. If God says, okay, I'll take it. I'm going to say, God, I say, we are all serving God. That is when I received the instruction on who I was. and where I should place my talents. So guess what? If I did not align myself to the transformer, the highest transformer is God. If I come and find me pole and be sing and me transformer no one connect here. Ni kases can imagine. Na kases can sumedia ni afina. Now I'm now realizing why God didn't let me take it. This is how many years? 2 years or 1 year? We got an answer. The answer was not an answer. The answer was a question. God asked me a question. God did not give me an answer, take it or don't take it. God posed a question. But the whole reason why I'm telling you this story is that if I took that money, there are things that are happening in my life now that this same senior man is asking me to connect him to. And the guy has money, like, don't get me wrong, the guy is very rich. But I have been able to get a network that God has given me that is greater than his, and he needs me to connect himself to that network. Now my question is, if I had taken that money 2 years ago, what would be the communication? Thank you. That is actually the right thing. I said, my mama can't also I can. So I also hear something. Yeah, in the spirit. I would have been a slave. I would have sold my talents to him. And that is why I said the last time that who owns your talents? Your talent is not yours. Because if I did not go back to who gave me the talent that this man was desperately looking for, to ask him, Chairman, should I take it? You said somebody will bring me millions. Somebody is saying that he's willing to give me millions. Should I take it? My question is, will we be humble enough to even come back to this? And ask you say, yeah, talent. And then create a disparity or some distance between the proximity of us and the person that gave us the talents. Because if I did that, wallahi, if there was no mommy to talk to at that time, I won't lie to you, I would have taken the money. There's nothing anybody could have told me. I would have taken it. I would have taken it. So fast track 2 years and still on the street hustle, 2 years fast track, then now certain people that are looking for me through spaces I never thought it would be possible to actually have billionaires look for me. And then now this man that wanted to give me some of his kakra millions now wants my help, Jesus, to connect. So at that point I was like, I wouldn't have even had the space to connect with these people. That is the power of proximity. So you have to choose which transformer you want to align with. Because the closer, whatever you are close to shapes you, that we have understood. Choosing the right transformer is another one, because I could have chosen the senior man as, so a chairman or a cash. I mean, what you say? I mean, in cruise, but no, God is the highest transformer. So allow God to now pick which other transformers should be placed in your life, and now connect yourself to it. But if you try to use your talent anyhow, anywhere, because there's money being paid, my brothers and sisters, obey a mistake. Because there was nothing that looked wrong with what happened in my life. Also prophet Kwamina be banty locking it down now. Overtaking is allowed. Into long now swing out back now. Obi be kata the so. Because I'll check it out who say acquiring man million bear 5 you no obey okay. I'm looking. It's not the Abia and the prophet who say, okay, boy, wait, Oba could do saying to no locking it down right now. I'm sure we will do something to other people. So it depends on the young man and the young boy, or your driver, or whoever, and how close he is to his prophet or his God to now align that, okay, ni cash no on minji and aminji. Ebi musu destiny she ho say, okay, conserve kakra ne free ho. Ebi su the empty sir. But God asked me who I was. That question is I think is one of all the questions and things that God has told me. That's one of the most profound things that God has told me. Trying to tell me, why are you about to now lower yourself because of this? A lot of us, we have brought ourselves down to some level that God is just watching us like, what's wrong with this guy? Why is he walking around begging for 1,000 cities and 2,000 cities? Doesn't he know who he is? My brothers and sisters, who are you? And for you to know who you are to the extent of where God has placed you, you need to connect yourself to the highest transformer. Because it is only God that can show you a snippet of who you are. So a lot of us don't know who we are. Because if you know who you are, you will not sit at certain places. If you know who you are, you will not even eat at certain places. You will not allow some girl to talk to you at certain places. You will not allow certain girl. And you might be like me. I tell her, I check out. Say, Auntie, Mama, guess when you can say anyhow before. I'm saying, I don't know me this. But at that point, you do not know the full extent of who you are into anyhow, movie anyhow, dressy anyhow, kasa anyhow, 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 oh no, don't do that. Don't you know who you are? Because they are setting, and like every day when we grow a little, I grow a little, and mommy is talking, I'm like, hey, Charlie, yes, I long go. Because now when I look at my life, there are certain people I shouldn't have allowed in my life in the first place. But at that point, I didn't know who I was. But at that point, if you don't have a bigger conviction of who you are, I promise you, you will take the money. You will take the money. I still haven't seen that much money yet. And he's still chasing me, by the way. But do you know who you are? And for me, it's like, Mama, how can a billionaire now look for me and text me and tell me he wants to work with me? And it's not an African billionaire. And it's texting you out of nowhere, connection be anyhow. And prior to that, we are praying and Mama is telling me that, oh, there are some people looking for you. They will reach out to you through social media. I receive. I receive. This is for last, like 2 years or something. Almost also about Kwamina says you feel about 2 years ago. And at 3, it was 69, right? That is when I started hearing this prophecy. When it actually happens, I'm like, so this God can do this. It be crazy. So God can do this. God can connect you just like that. I didn't look for anybody. All what Mama told me is that Kwamina, keep on posting on your social media. Or see posting. The other baby are posting. I've realized something too when God brings. I saw one year long. I saw no one sign contract. Only mean sign contract, but with me sending me $500,000. Means only me babe, on whom me down. Ni on whom, not on whom me physically down. It's all you find the say, normal crank, you will try to now, meet the person, what. The guy had not seen me before. The guy sent me over $200,000. And just trust that it may and trust that may So I could tell that no. Senior man now no person mommy contract. How money boys need pressure no? Versus the nyame de buy how on the cry to me will say, are you free? I say Why would I be free? Question me. What are you free? Are you okay? Oh, we want to come around next week. Is that okay? It's your schedule. I'm saying, no. So that is what I realized that no, when God decides to move in your life, there are normal long means. I have gotten to a point where any business that tries to stress me, I drop it. And when I say stress, I'm not talking about normal hard work stress. So let's say it may be a hard work stressful. But I mean, cash stress, I say, business well done, Saka. Now I say, I have long be. I know be sika ko shehana be we shehana we see on tiasiena we say and I also prove you beyond. No. I'm not touching that business because you know why? Because now I know that is not from God. I can tell by the conversation that is not from God. And so that also determines where I put my money. Because if it's not from God, we see cannibal lucky. I mean, I don't even want to do a lot of thinking myself. So now when I see certain things, I start to move away from it. Because then I know it is not from God. God does not bring us people to stress us. I have now experienced it to the point now I know that Namis is shower and you're long. That's why people say your destiny helper no go stress you. That's why people say that. And you're long. As of now, as a new way, okay. So can you do it? Should I add this thing? Is that enough? Is that enough? So my charge will be times where the what's some say is that enough? I'm saying me fabi kawana maybe. Me I mean him say me charge no but also some say is that enough? So we need to align ourselves to that transformer, and that's the only way. The rest is just a byproduct. Honestly, when I look at why God places us as custodians of certain things and some amount of money, I realize that He is giving us that access to do certain things for Him. That is what I've realized. Because He needs to give us capacity to now do certain things. It is a capacity in panel you will need there and also say another challenge. But place yourself in a place where you are of value and you are able to provide, and let God see the heart that you are doing it with. That is another trick. Because if you don't have, if let's say you have only 1,000 cedis and you are so committed to God that you are using half, I don't know, whatever, but God can see that even at your 1,000 states, there is a level of commitment that you are giving to Him. And there's a level of proximity that you are yearning for with Him. Then He brings more to you. But Oshana had and then of course there will be a lot of tests along the way and stuff like that. It showed me a lot of things and what it means to be aligned. It showed me value and how you can undervalue yourself, even when you think we are overvaluing. A lot of us think that we actually understand the value, but we have not seen the extent to which God wants to take us. Then also when, I don't know how to put it, when that question was posed to me and I was looking at a $25 million a year company, it also changed my perspective on who I am. Because that sounded like a lot of money to me. So immediately I got that. The first thing that came to me was, Nasa Mekwama undervalued you. So I can see that a lot of us here have already undervalued ourselves. Your talents are playing at the wrong places. We are using our talents at the wrong places. I can promise you for a fact, when you use your talent at the wrong place, you get paid pennies on a dollar. You get paid very, very low amounts. When your talent operates in a different dimension or a different realm, you get paid more. So some of us and most of us are using our talents wrongly. Why are we using our talents wrongly? We are not aligning with the highest transformer. We are not moving with him. We don't even understand why he gave us the talents. So today I want all of us to do an audit or a check in our lives. First of all, check which people we are close to. Double check if they are even people worth being close to. Because that same talent you have, people are paying 10 times that. Check the people that you speak to every day. Check your life, your friends, your family, your girlfriends. Check all of those things. Your business partners, which people are you doing business with? Is your business giving you some headache? Headache be a home here be na ye chichu bi na sa asama baby na say sikano wentia. Is your business giving you? If your business is giving you these headaches, God is not inside. Oh. So it could be two things. Either there's no God inside, or that is not what God wants you to do. There are two things. And align yourself back to the person that gave you that talent that you are using. Sometimes you are using the talent for wrong reasons. Why would God allow it to move? Some guy called me, he was like, Charlie, Kwamina and foul, put me somewhere, then. Now, the enemy, yeah, and Kofobe Banya, they are there, but me, and I'm saying, what talents, then out there? What talents, no, they boy, Nyami, enemy. Now, chairman say, me cry, now, we be free, now, my mouth talents, now they boy me enemy. I say, me few. Then all the talents na ya manya mintia wo bebe catch like mintia say talents na me dey ma won fa nyen hwe ma nya me o but ontia say dey ntia nkofo ba o but who scam. What are you using your talent for? It's a big problem, and I want us to check those things and align with God to be able to know where and what to do. The biggest and highest proximity for every other thing to follow is our proximity to God, our closeness to God, to be able to learn of the direction we are supposed to step and know how to move and which people to move with. That is all I want us to remember today and every other day. And move close to God, please. Do not create a distance. The distance creates problems. And I always use my life as an example because I know my life better than anybody. Basically, whenever I move, back in the day, when I wasn't that's the early times, like maybe the first 2 years or something, when I started to work with mommy, there was cuts. I say short dashes. So it's me by 3 months. When you create those things, you just create delay for yourself. You always go back. You always come back. And then now start build. But constant closeness to God is the only way to go. It's the only way. I've tried the way that you are trying. I've tried it. Well, I made a little bit of money. But I'm sure that I'm fat to say how I say, Mama, we do it. You may feel sad. I said, they also me struggle as can swing up also the cost of Hannah's away. Now the bank, that bank it chase you. Now, no. Now me my home day, you know. So yes, I wouldn't crowd, but long. I actually receive more when I move closer. So me doggy. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, don't dog your work, but like, if I pay more attention to God's work, my work is okay. So back then, I used to feel like if I pay more attention and I do not pay attention to my work as much as I pay attention to God, I used to feel like my work will fail. But I tried that, and my work did fail. And then I tried moving close and spending more time on God's work. But my work is okay. Clients will require 10 clients, you train me. You get me? Now I have the ability. I was telling Sugar the last time, like Sugar, when I decline a client, I get happy. Last time I said Casa Precon, And I'm a boy, nice me, I'm sorry, I don't have this, I will not. I don't mean, I just say, making a declining offer. Say, me, because it gives me like, wow, it's in me do drew baby at me, because we mean pet, stress, we mean, yeah, okay, Matty. And then they'll be they'll still be chasing you, missing me here by force. Oh, mommy, missing me, mean to me, yeah. But then they'll still be chasing you. And that's when I realized that it is actually better to spend more time doing God's work than your work. Because the cheat code is with God. So very long. And I've tried both ways. For over how many years? I've tried. And the other way didn't work. So align with God, let's create more proximity with God, and I think everything else would align perfectly. All the cheats will align perfectly. Whatever business you are doing, bring it to God. God will tell you how to do it. I was telling one of my friends that if I was a stock exchange broker or I was in Wall Street, I would be aligned with like 10 heavy prophets, because Nyamin Kwan don't say stock way because rich nanti koto. Why do you? And then I mean the people say Elon Musk here long while I see a China stock never drop into it. It's a be our and so when you was side that you are able to see where and where not to go, who to partner with, who not to partner, when to hold your stock and not to sell. Because it looks like you should sell now, but maybe when you sell tomorrow you will have a problem. But me told one of my friends that don't sell your car. If you sell your car, you have an issue. But I'm training in Okoton can on until about 2 years. It is only God that will know that. So if you are not aligned with God, how are you going to know that the fuel price is about to skyrocket into Kotofu or tankers 3 and hold it for about 3 months? Senior man for they have this edge over us. They have that information over us. That is why people always say that information is king right now. You need information that nobody has. And that information, who has it? Chairman, let's be honest. Who has it? Someone also offer baby, but information, who has it? It is God that has it. So to give you an edge over your competition, you need to tap into that power. And that's the only way. And I really hope that we do that, because for me, it has really transformed my life. I see things differently. I move differently. And I'm not worried about things anymore. Like, okay, okay, what, okay, also on mommy, okay, on mommy contract.